So, Jupiter, you just had a chance to check out the bar the other night. Tell us a little bit about what you thought.
I think it's awesome. It was Friday happy hour, so it was buy one get one free beer. That's always a plus. And they had a Wreck-It Ralph raffle. They were giving out free movie tickets to see the movie. I didn't win, but it was still fun to be there and join in the excitement.
And you saw the movie anyways.
That's true. Yeah.
As a matter of fact, we all saw the movie.
We did.
Together. Which was cool. Bonding.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's what we're here about. We're going to just talk a little bit about what we thought of the film, give it kind of a review. This is our first time we've ever done one of these, so we're pretty excited. And what a way to start it on a movie that's all about retro games.
Sure.
And I think the fun part about Wreck-It Ralph was that, you know, when you think of a movie about video games, it usually has a relatively negative connotation.
Right.
But this was a movie about video games.
Right, this is a movie about the culture.
If you live under a rock and you don't know what Wreck-It Ralph is, Wreck-It Ralph is the most recent Disney animated film. It's computer generated, not traditional, but computer generated, as Disney's been doing a lot of those. And one of the guys over at Pixar, who now works with Disney, now is one of the main guys at Disney, John Lasseter, he describes it as an 8-bit video game bad guy who travels the length of the arcade to prove he's a good guy.
That's exactly what the plot is.
Which pretty much sums it up, right, Girl?
Sounds good.
I should still see the movie.
Yeah, I would say it's definitely more than just that, but
right.
It's pretty much something. One of the cool things about the film is that they do have the ability to, when the arcade is off, similar to like Toy Story when Andy's not around, when the arcade is shut down, they then have the ability to travel via the cords or the plugs on the arcade cabinets
to visit each other's
Game Central, which is essentially a power surge protector, a surge protector.
That was a really clever way of doing that. They had like the surge protector is an actual character who's like a security guard. And
right.
Very well done. That reminds me of when I was talking to someone at work about this not too long ago. They're like, "Oh, that movie looks stupid. It's just Toy Story with video games." My response is, Toy Story is awesome, and video games are awesome, so I don't see how this is a bad combination.
You know what? I was thinking after seeing it, it felt a little bit more like Roger Rabbit with video games, which is equally awesome.
Yeah.
But it was more so just the fact that we got to see all these characters
the
together.
combination of characters.
The characters you never would think to see together. Just kind of interacting.
And a lot of fun. A lot of cameos. Anyone want to point out some of the cameos that they loved?
Dig Dug.
Dig Dug made a cameo. And not only Dig Dug, but a lot of his little baddies.
Q*bert had a part.
Q*bert had pretty.
Okay, first of all, Q*bert was awesome, by the way.
I know.
He had a strong part. My feeling is that Disney should just buy the rights, since they're buying the rights to everything else right now. They might as well just buy the rights to Q*bert, because he was an awesome Disney character.
Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah, I liked him a lot.
Sonic the Hedgehog was awesome to see. He's all over the promotion material.
Sure.
Would have liked to see him a little more. He was very background.
Yeah, but then again, he's not really an arcade.
That's true.
Character, you know. So the fact that they put him in there at all was just kind of like a fun little thing.
Yeah. That's true.
You know, obviously a lot of different villains. You saw Robotnik or Eggman, however you refer to him as. You saw Bowser.
Zangief. Zangief had a pretty great, big and hilarious part.
He had reoccurring jokes in the film.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you really find out in the movie that he has such a soft spot on his heart.
Well, no.
Touching guy.
A soft spot on his heart, but a very strong spot between his thighs.
That's true. Yeah, he does point that out.
He points that out numerous times in the film. Small spoiler. He likes to tell people how easily he crushes men's skulls between his thighs. Papa M. Bison was in there too.
It was Chun-Li.
Chun-Li. I believe she only showed up in like the background.
Yeah.
There's a lot of background characters.
Yeah, watch
Here's the
the
thing.
background.
I don't feel bad. I don't feel like it's a spoiler to tell people like stuff you see in the background, because
you might miss it.
You might miss it.
Yeah. Like, I kind of want to see the movie again just to see all the stuff in there.
No, exactly. No doubt. Aerith lives.
Yes.
I didn't even notice that.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was graffiti in the tunnels.
bit.Girl and I.
It was cool. I'm like, did I just see that?
Cool thing.
My favorite, probably the Metal Gear Solid exclamation point.
Yes.
that
That he
was
finds in the
funny.
Lost
In
and
the Lost
Found.
and Found, in the Tapper world.
In
so,
Tapper.
So you got the cool part is that some of these characters, the way they were animated, was very, very cool.
Right.
They were just like how sprites on arcade cabinets, how they can kind of be quick movements.
Right.
A lot of the characters are really jumpy. So Tapper, I mean, there's no in-between animation. It's just him looking up, him looking down. He would be talking to Wreck-It Ralph, and Wreck-It Ralph was looking for something, and he said, "Go check the Lost and Found." And he found the exclamation point.
Exclamation point.
He pulls it out, and
That was cool. Speaking of the Tapper thing, another awesome thing they did in the film, I thought, was they would show what the game would look like from the human perspective.
yeah.
So then you had the scene where all these characters are just drinking in tappers. You had like the Street Fighter characters in there, and you had Ralph in there. Burger Time,
Peter Pepper,
yeah.
which it says on the counter.
They're all in there drinking, and then it shows from the outside perspective. They all look like they're actually in the Tapper game.
Right.
Which I actually really want to play that game now.
Yeah,
Tapper
no,
Lives is
absolutely.
here.
I gotta tell you though, so I love Zangief, but the one that surprised me to see it in there, which didn't play like the most important role, but actually was part of the plot, Road Blaster.
Yeah,
Road Blaster shows up, and
that's pretty key.
It was a key plot point.
Yeah. Don't want to give too many spoilers,
But
it's
look for Road Blaster.
It's an important game in retro gaming history.
Yeah.
And they acknowledged it.
Appreciate it. And even the stuff that was new, like Hero's Duty and and Sugar Rush. And there were other games like that where or even the Fix It Felix Jr. game.
Right.
All these games,
They were nods to other games.
right? They all felt like they could be real games because obviously they took elements from other games.
Right.
And it shows that there are something that bit.Girl always likes to say about media nowadays, movies nowadays, is that the fans are now the ones in control.
Yeah.
I mean, these are
Like the people who grew up on this culture, video games and movies and awesome television shows, we're not making this stuff. And so it's like the fans are making it for all of us. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I'd love to see what's out now.
And I mean, we haven't seen it really in retro video gaming movies,
No?
but this was kind of cool. All right, so let's go into it. Let's get real.
Yeah.
Okay. What are the things that you liked about this movie? What did you like? What did you dislike?
I would say I was really excited about the movie from the beginning. And I feel like it delivered everything I expected from it. Like, I knew it was going to be a Disney animated film, and I love Disney animated films. I don't mean that in a negative sense. But it wasn't going to be, another Hitchcock film. It's not. It wasn't like groundbreaking in like storytelling.
Right.
But it was nostalgic. They said like right from the beginning, it's just going to be a fun little romp through the arcade games of lore. Yeah, fan pleasing film. Like I would say the story didn't. Like the actual story of what the character's going through could happen in any type of genre. It could have been, a movie character getting stuck in that, or a toy getting stuck in that. But this was a video game character, so the story could appeal to anybody.
Yeah.
But what the characters are about, what they're from, appeals to us older gamers, retro gamers.
Right.
But then you have stuff like the Hero's Duty, like it's a first-person shooter, so modern gamers definitely know what that is, and they make a lot of references to that.
Yeah. It felt like just that whole genre of the scary space games.
Yeah.
The aliens are like this bug species.
Again, over the top, but like hugely over the top. But
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh,
did a
way
great
over
job
the
at
top. Way over the top. Which leads me into just talking about some of the different characters in the film. You had Jane Lynch in there, which Matt's not here today. He's a huge Jane Lynch fan.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily. I haven't seen a ton of stuff of hers that I'm like amazing, but she's always been good in what she did.
Yeah.
This character was pretty much molded around her personality.
It's true. And from the beginning promotional material, I thought she was just going to be a side character, a fun little she's the
major
main
part.
No, she's a huge part of the
Major
movie, and did a great job at it.
John C. Reilly, I'm a big fan.
Oh yeah, he's hilarious.
We all seem to really enjoy John C. Reilly, and again, perfect for the character. Perfect for the character. The voice looked like it was supposed to be, and Wreck-It Ralph loved Wreck-It Ralph. I love the character.
Great character, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they did a really nice job. Pulled it out in the end. It made him very lovable and just heartfelt. I really love that character.
And his whole story. I'm not gonna do my best to not give too many spoilers. I think I can figure something out. But you know, obviously he's the bad guy who wants to be a good guy, and they really do a good job making, like, showing how hard that is for him to be a good guy.
Right.
Like, he clearly wants to, and he does wreck things. That's his job.
And not even always on purpose.
Right.
That's his thing. He wrecks things.
Yeah. And so you really feel for him. Yeah, I would say.
You like the character, bit.Girl?
Yeah, I definitely did.
Yeah. I thought it was cool. Even the Felix Jr. Felix Jr. It was so like, and he had a lot of like sharp movements too, almost like you know, he'd jump and it would.
Well, even in the game that it's based on, you know, he just does all the like the I'll fix it, like really quick movements. So his character actually does that too.
Yeah, really, the cool jumpy animation, but on purpose. They did it on purpose. Other main character was Penelope from Sugar Rush. You know, myself, I'm not a huge Sarah Silverman fan. And even during parts of the movie, I wasn't sure if I really liked the character.
Right.
They turned it around in the end, and I actually ended up liking her a lot.
The fact that it was Sarah Silverman, like, I think she's funny. They could have replaced her with any actress, I feel like. It wasn't like that was, like, the other characters, I feel like John C. Reilly, perfect. Jane Lynch, that was her in the video game. Jack McBrayer, like, was Fix-It Felix, but, like, Penelope wasn't necessarily.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
And at first I didn't really care for the character, like you said. She really comes around in the end, but like she's supposed to be the annoying little girl, and maybe a little bit too annoying. Like eventually I got to the point where like, can we get rid of her?
It was almost a little bit, and you and I talked about it. We'll get right to it. I mean, there is really 3 acts in this movie. You get the first act where they're setting it up, and it's all that awesome retro gaming stuff.
Right.
It's almost like, if I had to compare it to any other movie, I would compare it to maybe like Shrek, in the sense that, you know, Shrek has a lot of parodies of fairy tales, and then the beginning of this movie was just fan-pleasing, like, here's just retro stuff. Eye candy. I mean, even in the background, just to see the arcade, and they show basically the arcade go through time at one point in the movie, and see the different cabinets get replaced.
And if you were born in, you know, before the 80s, you've seen that progression happen.
Yeah, and just to see some of the games that showed up. I mean, even like Ninja Turtles, the arcade games showed up. Like,
there's some Star Wars in there.
Yes, a couple Star Wars cabinets were in there. I thought that was really cool. So the beginning of the film, you know, not saying it was a very deep, characterized beginning, but it was a lot of fun.
Right.
Mid-section of the film, both me and Jupiter walked out of the film saying exactly the same thing. The mid-section started to lose us. There's a section in the middle where we're just like...
But it's a traditional act 2 in a film, right? You have the first one where you find out what's wrong with the character, and then they make that decision to, you know, go in a certain direction. Then act 2 starts, where, you know, it brings you to the climax. But in this movie, I feel like we had so much fun arcade stuff, but most of Act 2 took place in this game, Sugar Rush.
Yeah.
And, like, you lose a lot of that retro game gag.
Right, and making gags on candy.
A lot of candy jokes. If you like candy jokes, this is a great movie.
If you love candy, and here's the thing, guess what?
What?
I love candy.
Well, I knew that. And I did too. And I thought most of the jokes were funny, but eventually I got to the point where, like, wait, am I seeing a movie about, like, candy?
Is this... Then, Act 3. Which is the best part of the film. Which is by far the best. I mean, it's the best part of most films. By far the best part of this film. All of a sudden, the movie turns full-on Pixar.
Right.
Like, with emotional stuff. I mean, there were times when I got little chills.
Very touching.
Wreck-It Ralph turned awesome in the end.
He does.
He has some interior monologue going, heroic scenes. I mean, it was just, not to spoil it, but holy smokes. He literally becomes one up in the list of great Disney heroes at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And he's supposed to be the bad guy.
And he's the bad guy. Okay, so we've all said our piece. Should people see it, or should they pass on it? So 1 up if you think they should see it, 1 down if you think they should skip it. Okay? Let's start with bit.Girl.
What up?
You're gonna give it 1 up. Why?
See it. Characters ended up being endearing. There's a lot of video game references that are totally worth. Like, I need to see it again just to catch them all.
Yeah.
So it's definitely cool to see all that.
So you want to catch them all?
It's not Pokemon.
Would you say you got to catch them?
No, it's not Pokemon.
Okay.
I would give it a 1 up. I mean, I think everybody could enjoy this movie.
Yeah.
Even my parents went to see it. And my dad, our dad especially, is famous for not knowing anything about video games, and he enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, no. Our father avidly hates video games with a passion.
Yeah. I think it's because we didn't play enough sports. Because
Yeah.
we're playing video games.
He realized
he was upset about that.
He actually holds a real big grudge against video games in general because of the fact that we didn't play sports.
I would give it an extra 1 up if you're a video game fan, because you should see it twice. Because you're gonna see it once and say, "Man, there's a lot of stuff I probably missed. I want to see it again."
Yeah, and I'm also going to give it a 1 up just based off the fact that it was just a solid movie. I mean, it's just you're not going to be disappointed by this movie. I mean, I'm not going to, as you said before, it's not going to like rock your world. It's not going to change. It's not going to create a whole new genre of retro video gaming movies. But I mean, it was worth seeing. It was fun, and you'll enjoy it. So, from all 3 of us, that's 3 up. So, see the movie.
3 lives.
Yeah.
3 lives, which is good. Which is good for any movie.
Yeah.
So definitely see the movie. And until next time, we'll see you later, guys. And let's keep retro gaming live.